Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and very good morning, everybody. Welcome to UITM Sarawak Academic Webinar Series. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm so happy to be here with all of you. All right, so our esteemed speaker, professors, academic alike students, and all our viewers, welcome to Academic Webinar Series of UITM Sarawak. So our topic today is about social media oversharing awareness. Ladies and gentlemen, before we begin our sessions, allow me to read a few administrative announcements. The first one, academic webinar series is the initiative of Universiti Teknologi Mara, Sarawak. And number two, views of the speaker is based on her personal opinion and are not representations of the organization's viewpoint. All right. So ladies and gentlemen, we are proud to inform that we have our respectable speaker for this session. So allow me to share a brief information about Puan Nurul Huda Izzati binti Jamil. Okay, so Puan Nurul is a lecturer from Faculty of Information Management in UITM Sarawak, and she obtained a Master of Science in Information Management in 2011 from Universiti Teknologi Mara, Shah Alam. So previously, she attended her industrial training at Cybersecurity Malaysia under the Outreach Department, and therefore I believe it sparked her interest research in social media and information science. So without further ado, let us talk about the topic today. We have our topic is about the oversharing awareness. So I believe most of us or all of us are using the social media in our daily life. All right. So we are spending most of our time with the gadget, with the social media, and we are so excited to share whatever that we know that we receive with our media, and we keep on sharing it to others. So, and sometimes without we realize it, we might overshare it. Okay, maybe due to overjoy or maybe due to your curiosity, you share those informations with others. So I think today we are so lucky to have Puan Nurul to tell us or to guide us about what is this all about. And I think she have a better view in this issue. So without further ado, Puan Nurul, over to you.
Thank you, Puan Sabaria, as the moderator of our session this morning. Assalamualaikum. Good morning to Professor, Doctor, fellow lecturers, and our audience. Okay, wherever you are. Okay, so yes, moderator was right. Social media is a topic that is actually very synonym to us. We are using social media. In fact, majority of us has more than one social media account. So without further ado, so let me continue with the presentation. About social media oversharing awareness. Okay, let me mention the webinar objective. Okay, basically the objective is to educate on social media oversharing awareness in general, and also to highlight the dangers of social media oversharing to educated teachers and parents, and also to alert the children, because teacher, educator, parents can alert their children, their loved ones, to provide basic guidance for educated teacher and parents in guiding their students and children on the safe use of social media. So these are my disclaimer for this presentation. The purpose of this session is to share impact knowledge with audience, and in the intent to deliver the content better, other online sources are used and cited, and images from Google sources are used for solely for sharing and educational purpose and not for any personal gain and profits. And some sources with very long URL have been shortened to their original main homepage instead of the exact URL of the source. Because panjang sangat kan? Yes, it's good to share, but some things are best kept to ourselves. So we have to be aware of what we are sharing. When it comes to oversharing, the biggest security risk could be our own self. Okay, this is my presentation content overview. Okay, first we have 4 parts. So let's go to our part 1, which is the introduction before continuing to what information often overshare, and then awareness prevention, and also the second last, the reporting cybercrime. Okay, for the definition, so what is oversharing? Basically, oversharing is when people share too much information to public or stranger. It can happen both online and also offline. On the other hand, it also means giving out excessive amount of personal information, or TMI, too much information, and also the disclosure of an inappropriate amount of detail about one's personal life. Okay, so this is the current social media spending in Malaysia as of January 2021. About 86% of Malaysian population are active social media users. There are estimated 32 million over the current Malaysian population, and as of the social media user, it is an increase of 20% as compared to 5 years ago, which was in 2016, in which social media users amounted to approximately 62% of the total population in Malaysia. And actually, this number is projected to increase to 27 million in 2025. And as in many other countries, Facebook is the leading social media platform in Malaysia, but Malaysians also use other social media such as Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, WeChat, and other instant messaging, which is also falls under the social media category. Most countries, excluding China, because China doesn't allow their citizens to use social media from the outside to prevent the disclosure of the citizen personal information. Okay, these are some news headline. Okay, CSM Cyber Security Malaysia Chief Executive Officer Dr. Amiruddin Abdul Wahab mentioned that people are the weakest link in cyber security because we as Malaysians, we have the habit of oversharing information which can compromise us as users to danger. If we love posting about our life on social media, CSM has the reminder. Sharing is caring, but oversharing is careless. We might put our loved one's life in danger. So we don't want that to happen, right? The oversharing of information can expose users to cyber criminals who may use such data to their advantage. And after they gain knowledge to our personal information, cyber criminals can use social engineering methods, various social engineering methods to commit offenses like impersonation and fraud. Identity theft is the most common, aside from card credit and debit card fraud. Why does it say that people are the weakest link in exposing themselves to cyber criminals? Because the ones that open door for the social engineering tactics is us. How much have we disclosed in online environment in social media about our personal information without us realizing it and without us considering the consequences. There are also some people who are easily enticed by email saying that they want 1 million ringgit. And these are very common. I think we get messages like menang a voucher, petrol, whatsoever, 20,000, 18,000. It sounds too good to be true. If it sounds too good to be true, most probably they are not true at all. So we have to be careful. Okay, why people overshare? Uh, the most the most common reason is unintentional, without purpose, not by purpose, not deliberately. Maybe we should take a moment to look into our social media, how much our social media knows and share about us. Because after all, our biggest security could be our own self. Are we making it easier for criminals to steal our information? So these are other intended form of oversharing, like the most common one. It may sound very common, but it still happens. Connecting to publicly available Wi-Fi and transmit personal information such as name, username, passwords while checking bank account, email, or updating social media status. By right, we know that we should never access our online banking and do any transaction while accessing public Wi-Fi because those connections are not protected. Someone else can easily snoop the connection and steal our personal information. Okay, other form of unintended oversharing, including sending incorrect attachment and having sent personal information when sending or replying to a text message, or even have hit a reply all to an email that was intended for one recipient. So next is ignorance. When it comes to social media oversharing, obviously ignorance is not a bliss. So oversharing is not a small matter. It can be serious because it can affect our lives and also the life of our loved ones. Okay. Actually, social media is a very good form of sharing information. So it's good that we are getting attention if we are sharing something beneficial to others, something that is informative to others, something that is good for them to know. But the danger is uh, we fear that we crave attention from the wrong people. Who are these wrong people? Can be cyber criminals, online predator, we never know. People might be lonely. That's why they turn to social media to share their loneliness or to find cure for the feeling of loneliness. But the problem is when one feels lonely and passively roaming, browsing in social media, one would even feel more lonelier and it would even lead to more stress and depression, which is not healthy at all. Does using social media make you lonely? Does it make us lonely? Depends on how we use them. Are we using social media with the right skills or are we using social media without any any good social skills? Mean, are we using social media in the right way? Basically, yes, I agree. We all agree that social media can enrich one life because it is a very good tool for us to keep in touch with family, friends, classmates, colleagues, and who knows, jejak kasih, apa? So many have been reported of jejak kasih, long lost friends, long lost family members. So that's the positive side. But the negative sides can happen when people passively browsing through social media without uh, any intentions, without any significant good intentions, just roaming around like that without any intentions. So it is possible that we easily fall into trap like interesting applications that uh, asking us or make us feel attracted to download this, to install this, to install that. So we would simply install, download without even considering about the real nature of what or about the software that we are installing. Oversharing is the latest indulgence embraced by one generation and worrying another. Teens and 20-somethings raised by the internet have no locks on the hearts and bedrooms. Unfortunately, oversharing is not that it's not the latest indulgence embraced by one generation and worrying another, because oversharing, the social media oversharing, is actually affecting many people from different generations, from all ages, from all walks of life. So where people overshare everywhere in social media, there are so many options, be it Facebook, Instagram, WeChat, LinkedIn. In overseas, they even use Snapchat. Snapchat is not very popular in Malaysia, but it's very popular in US. Most of Malaysians like to use Facebook Messenger or WhatsApp and also Telegram. Okay, this is another headlines. Terlebih kongsi gambar anak di media sosial undang jenayah pedofilia. So this is one of the issues that worrying parents the most, because obviously under any circumstance we don't want pedophilia to come to our life. We would never invite pedophilia, but then our actions might trigger otherwise. So that's why before we upload our children, our loved ones pictures, we should consider about the pedophilia profiling, because some more when our account is not set to private. So that is actually like invitation card for pedophilia. This is, we really don't want this to happen. So we should alert ourselves as parents and also our loved ones. Timbalan Menteri Komunikasi and Multimedia Datuk Sri Jailani Johari said, jangan terlebih kongsi maklumat peribadi di media sosial, because we want to avoid the distribution of personal information through the internet. Cyber scams top the list every year. In Malaysia, Malaysia is actually known as one of the countries favored by cyber criminals, by cyber scams, because maybe due to the lack of awareness, or because cyber criminals, they primarily use the social engineering method, which invoke human psychology, which give them advantage to exploit person by manipulating their emotions. So the issues with Malaysians is definitely our awareness. Even ada juga guys, even if we already aware, but we still do. So that's definitely a different issue. Among cyber fraud cases often reported are phishing, job scams, Nigerian scams, lottery scams, love scams, online scams involving sales transactions. And the cyber scams are actually causing millions and billions of loss every year. CSM Chief Executive Officer Datuk Amiruddin Abdul Wahab further said that we should not publish status updates stating that we are lonely, we are in search of life partner, or are desperate for one, because these kinds of status updates can attract the attention of cyber criminals. Cyber criminals are highly trained people. We should not underestimate them. They are highly professionals. They learn about human psychology. They are well versed in performing various methods of social engineering tactics on internet users. So the way to curb this problem is to curb our inclination to consistently share our thoughts and feelings on social media. In the context of uh, in the context of information security, social engineering refers to the psychological manipulation of people into performing actions or exposing confidential information. Means the cyber criminals, they are highly trained. They have their tactics. They have their way of telling uh, telling people or making people believe that something is true, whereby it's not. And we are also advised to not be too quick to accept friend requests without verifying the authenticity of a user account. So especially to parents who have set up social media account for children, even though they are, it's a kind of trend, belum lahir dah ada social media account, ataupun dah lahir tak sampai seminggu dah ada social media account. So this account, it is totally personal decision, okay, but it is highly advisable for the moderator, the admin, which other parents to set the accounts to private and do not simply accept requests from strangers or someone that we do not know in person. Okay, going to part two, the information we often overshare. Okay, categories of information that we mostly overshare: our status updates in various platforms of social media, our personal information like where we live, home address, like we usually visit which places, like where else, our schools, our children's schools, and also pictures and videos that relates to our daily life and activities. Okay, who might misuse those information? There are few categories and each category is a very broad term. Okay, when it comes to scams, just now in the previous slide, okay, scams, there are many categories of scams and we don't want scammers to make use of our personal information and make it to their advantage. And the next one is cyberbullying. A cyberbully is actually not a small matter. Uh, let's give a scenario. Parents, when the children were younger, so they post a picture of their children in a they think that moment is very funny. So they capture it and share it online. But then as the children grow older, they might be embarrassed of that picture, especially if their friends or peers are using that picture against them. So this can actually trigger cyberbullying. Cyberbullying is no serious matter, and not only dekat overseas. More than 10 years ago, in Western countries, there's been many series of teens committing suicide due to cyberbullying. In Malaysia, it happens. There are many cases of cyberbullying. As a result, many cases of cyberbullying victims resulted to taking their own lives. So cyberbullying is not a small matter. It's a very serious matter, and it can lead to fatal consequences. Next is online predator. There are few categories of online predator. Online predators target their victims on websites, chat rooms, email, and texting. Most common crimes committed by online sexual predators are giving illicit media, photography, audio, or video to children below the age of consent, engaging a minor in sexually explicit chat, like like sexting, uh, video, what do we call it? Uh, Video sexting, things like that. And arranging to meet with a minor with the intent of performing an illegal, unlawful, and unethical sexual act. So these are the things that we parents dread the most, not only to our children but also to our loved ones. So please, by limiting what we share in online environment, we can help to curb the inclination for this problem to happen. Effect of oversharing on kids. Okay, we as sport parents are often very eager to share information about our children on social media, including photo and status update. However, there are implications for both parents and children. It is important for parents to remember that some things should be kept private. We don't have to share everything. Biasalah kalau mak-mak ni kan memang banyak momen yang kita rasa special, macam first time anak boleh bercakap, first time anak panggil mak, so first time anak boleh berdiri. Kalau ikut kita nak share semua dekat social media. So because that moment is huge to us, that moment means so much. Walaupun orang lain, mungkin bagi orang lain whatever, but to us it's big. But we don't want we don't want to open door for malicious stranger. We want to avoid providing a malicious stranger with enough information to gain our child trust and into uh, uh, applying this social engineering method on kids, because they are more vulnerable. Kids are more vulnerable. They are emotionally, physically more vulnerable. Parents should also consider the fact that they are essentially creating an online history for their child. So when it comes to this, maybe we should only document something that is, even when the children grow up, they would feel okay, they would feel fine about it. Nowadays, children, as much as adult, as much as teenager, as much as any other online user or social media user, they can be quite bold and cruel, primarily due to the anonymous nature of the internet. Yelah, sebab anonymous kan, so we ourselves can see how cruel, how straightforward those comments online. Kita sendiri boleh nampakkan dia punya effect. If we really must share, parents should only share children pictures that are appropriate. So when the kids grow up, okay, they feel fine. Okay, this is one of the most common consequences of oversharing, which is the identity theft. Identity theft and identity fraud are terms used to refer to all types of crime in which someone wrongfully obtains and uses another person's information in a way that involves fraud or deception, usually to the victim's disadvantage. Okay, among personal data that is highly susceptible to being stolen, including credit and debit card numbers, as well as information regarding bank accounts, insurance policies, and medical records. So we really want to avoid ourselves from directly or indirectly sharing this information in anywhere in online environment. While working through materials for the presentation, I came across one post. Dia punya bank card. The status dia post, wow, my first bank card. But this one is from the Western context. Lepas tu on the bank card, dia just post macam tu. The whole of it nampak dia punya expired date, dia punya 16 digit number nampak semua. So you know, this is shivering, right? This is something to do with awareness. Benda tu, we cannot simply share things like that. It's inviting for cyber criminals. It's like opening doors directly to them. Okay, please drop me. We don't want that to happen. Okay, this is a reference that showing that identity thief cases in Malaysia is actually increased from year to year. This was a few years back. It shows an increase, and even now it is showing a pattern of an increasing pattern because Malaysians seems like favored. The Malaysians are favored by cyber criminals because of this thing. Tak tahulah, Malaysians ni mungkin kita jenis bagi muka ke, mendengar ke, senang dipujuk ke, but it is definitely something to do with awareness. Kalau kita aware benda ni, kita tak semudah itu kan. People cannot simply steal our personal information. Okay, next consequences are online scams and fraud. Okay, internet scams are different methodologies of fraud facilitated by cyber criminals on the internet. Happens in many ways. They may send us phishing emails, through social media, engineering, SMS messages on our mobile phone, fake text support phone calls, scareware and more. Scareware ni it's like dia macam pop up tau. Dia macam pop up. So masa kita browsing tu dia akan keluar. So the scareware would mention, okay, your computer is infected with this and this. So dia akan invite kita untuk install, untuk download that malware yang the scareware is offering to us. This one actually dia main dengan emotion tau. If we don't have the awareness, we would simply, oh, ya Allah ada virus ni. Okay, terus install, terus download, terus install. Without even, verifying that it is actually a scareware. Okay, and okay, all the scams, they are targeting credit card thief, the most common. They want to capture our login password credentials, okay, which can result to identity theft. Okay, next is personalized social engineering attack. Personalized yang ni dia lebih is more targeted. Okay, because the example of personalized social engineering attack is the spear phishing. Kita selalu dengar pasal phishing emails kan. The phishing emails dia buat macam spam, dia hantar dekat banyak. Okay, so this, you have to update this. If you don't update this, your account will be blocked. You would not be able to access this. So orang pun tekan just like that. So when they open, they will be directed to a page that looks exactly 100% macam sama. Sama actually tapi tak serupa. To the layman, orang biasa, they would think that itu sama. But if we have this IT consciousness, if we have the awareness, we would refer to the hypertext transfer protocol security, the HTTPS URL. Itu kalau kita tahu, kalau tak tahu kan. Okay. Spear phishing ni lagi bahaya, okay, because it's highly targeted form of phishing attack that relies on personalization to trick victim. They would send us malware-less emails that don't seem as risky because they refer to people, places that are familiar to you. First, dia intip kita dekat social media. Dia tengok, okay, kita friends dengan siapa, kita kerja dengan siapa, who are our co-workers. So, they send us this spear phishing targeted specifically to us and ask us for personal information. Because kalau kita tak tahu, kita akan, oh, this person familiar kan. So, kita rasa, okay, kita just follow. Padahal, we don't know that it is actually a spear phishing, highly targeted social engineering attack. Okay, other consequences of oversharing, it can result to online and offline harassment. This is no small matter because this online offline harassment can affect both can affect individual both emotionally, psychologically and physically. So this thing kalau kena memang kena report lah, and benda ni dia can result in traumatic experience, boleh jadi gangguan emosi. Yang paling teruk, takut kalau tension, unmanaged tension, become depression untreated, jadi pula committing suicide. Sama juga hujung dia macam cyberbullying. So we really don't want that to happen. Embarrassed, this is actually not simple. This is not simple matter because it affects one emotionally and psychologically. So this thing, benda-benda ni semua can affect one's self-esteem. So we want to avoid this. So if we can, let's prevent. Prevention is better than cure. Same with this, losing position or job. Nobody wants to be in this situation. And to our growing children and teenagers, because it has become a trend for our respective or potential employers to do internet profiling. Internet profiling is when they are during the hiring process, they would check the candidate online reputation as opposed to the character portrait by all the CV and all that. Because character is who we are. Reputation is who people think we are. So our potential employers wants to know who we are in online environment. That's why they do the internet profiling. Okay, part 3 is the awareness and prevention. Yes, with cultivating awareness, with the right knowledge, people can control their tendencies to overshare. We need the knowledge because without the knowledge, we can easily affected by our inclination, our emotions to share. Practical tips for social media safety. So, configure privacy settings for our social media profile. Means we provide options to lock down our account. This is not means like locking down like apa? This is actually we are limiting access. We only accept those that we know in real life. Our family, our friends that we know in real life, not friends that we know only in social environment. Second, never share sensitive information on social media, be it financial information, account credentials, confidential company or organization information, and also any related information that could be used against us to compromise our accounts. And yes, we should weigh our risk before posting or sharing information that could be valuable to cyber criminals. So sebelum kita share tu, kita fikir, kita consider, kita check dulu, kita verify apa yang kita nak share. Use unique complex password. Remember to change if there's announcement about security breach or account compromise. Talking about password, this is a bit tricky because a complex password requires the combination of capital letters, small letters, numbers, and also symbols or other characters, and must be more than 8 characters. So the issue is we want to create complex password, but not so complex that we are not able to remember it. Lepas tu end up kita kena simpan dekat mana-mana juga complex password yang too complex that we are not able to remember. Kita simpan dekat phone, kita simpan dekat kita punya personal planner, macam sama juga kan hujung dia. So make it good, make it strong one, but strong enough and good enough for us to remember, to memorize. Okay, ada satu okay, kisah I would like to share about this. Okay, our bank account, I think sama ada kita willing untuk, whether we are willing to admit it or not. Majority of us are using our IC number or date of birth as PIN for our bank account, which is bukan strongly not recommended. Jangan buat, tak boleh buat. Okay, this thing happens to me many years ago. Masa tu baru gaji, so I withdraw duit. Nasib baik lepas withdraw duit tu kan dah bayar untuk house rent, bill whatsoever. So sebenarnya the next day tu I was scheduled for a flight nak balik kampung, nak balik untuk nikah. Lepas tu malam tu pergi beli, went to buy some cake lapis. Okay, and I balik rumah, I tidur dengan nyenyak. I sleep so soundly that night. I tak sedar sebenarnya I tercicir I punya purse. Okay, the next morning I was going to prepare for the nasi lemak for breakfast, and then I noticed, ya Allah, where is my purse? Tak jumpa I punya purse. Balik rumah, cari tak jumpa. Masa tu I rasa I cannot forget myself. Macam kat mana I tercicir? So bila jadi macam tu, so adalah yang stumbling to my memories. Okay, dia jatuh, most probably dia jatuh masa I keluar dari kereta when just before I got home. Okay, to cut long story short. Okay, masa because dia dah semalaman tau. So dalam first tu, Alhamdulillah my practice was I tak simpan my IC dalam tu. So my IC and bank card masih ada dengan I, but I have one bank card, my main bank card dalam my purse yang tercicir tu. So masa nak call bank tu I dah menggeletar tau. When I call bank, the operator cakap it is already blocked because last night ada 3 percubaan untuk masukkan PIN tapi gagal, so already blocked. I rasa bersyukur sangat masa tu. I rasa macam Alhamdulillah sebab memang tak ada kaitan dengan IC number pun, tak ada kaitan dengan tarikh lahir, no connections at all. That was one moment that makes me very very grateful sebab I tak letak IC number ataupun date of birth. So what happened to me had happened to others, and it can happen to anyone. Kita ni biasa bila terhantuk baru tengadah. Kadang terhantuk sekali pun tak tengadah juga, kena hantuk kepala berkali-kali. So please, we want to avoid that. Nasib baik IC tu ada kan. So next day tu Alhamdulillah, lepas buat police report, I still can fly home safely. Okay, next, tips to avoid oversharing. So we should educate ourselves, our loved ones, to ask the following questions before we post something in social media. We should ask ourselves this question: am I okay with this existing forever? Why forever? We can delete lah. Yes, you can delete. Tapi kita tak tahu sebelum kita delete, orang yang ada access to our account already print screen ke, snapshot, we never know. Am I okay with this thing and read by anyone, by everyone? So basically, we educate our children, teenagers. If we don't want our parents to see this, if we don't want our friends to see this, if we don't want our teachers, our lecturers to see this, might as well tak payah post. We better be safe than sorry. Am I okay with this being used to profile who I am? This one I mentioned just now, internet profiling. So if we don't want that to be part of our internet profiling record, we better not post it all. If we feel okay, then we can go ahead. If otherwise, we know what to do. Yes, think before we share. Avoid sharing too much personal information. It's not necessary. If it's not necessary, don't share it. If it's need to be shared, we share directly to the person that is authorized. More tips on to avoid oversharing. These are the things that we should consider before posting status, comments, pictures, video. True, helpful, inspiring, necessary, kind. Is it kind to us but unkind to others? So we don't post. We should only post something that it's not harming anyone else. Take advantage of privacy setting. Yes, you must always take advantage of privacy setting. Lagi-lagi uh, parents, okay, parents yang share pasal our daily life, our daily activity, our children, apa, our children's school, jalan-jalan dengan anak, pergi mana ke mana. Yes, please take advantage of privacy setting. We should only allow people that we know in real life to look into those. Because we never know who's working in online environment, looking for new victim for social engineering. Nauzubillah, minta dijauhkan. Okay, these are privacy policy awareness. Biasa kan bila kita download, when we go to Play Store, okay, we hardly take the time to read the terms of service agreement on social networking sites. Online purchases before clicking I accept. Usually kita memang just main, install, just like that. So our consideration is install only software that we really must because of, keperluan kerja, because of duty. Okay, so we download. Okay, I give example. If TikTok, okay, other people are using TikTok. We are not using TikTok. So, tapi kita nak ada juga benda tu dalam handphone. So, if we are not using it, we better not. Because whenever we are actually downloading something from Play Store, we would receive a prompt message. Dia akan tanya kita akan allow access to which and which. So, kita boleh pilih lah. And this marketer, this manufacturer, diorang pun bijak. If we don't allow this and that, diorang pun, they wouldn't allow us to use their service on the other hand. So, be smart. Our consideration is kita install yang memang berfaedah untuk kita. Memang digunakan, memang berfaedah. Okay, this is some consideration, privacy policy. Okay, Facebook profile, dia akan ada options untuk ni tau. Okay, full name, birth date, schools, employers, hometown and all those, including political views, favorite this. Tapi the problem is kalau kita when we look into the online banking security questions, does it ring a bell to you? Ada persamaan? Implications of sharing personal information. Deduction of answers to personal security questions. So we have to be alert. So benda yang ada dekat Facebook tu, takkan kita nak guna dia sebagai kita punya online banking security questions kan? That's obviously security breach to our personal privacy, because cyber criminals, they would cross-reference this information when they want to invade our online accounts. They would cross-reference kita punya info apa semua yang whatever we have included in our Facebook accounts. Like mother's maiden name. This is very common ni kalau kita when we are filling form dekat bank masa kita nak buat account. I think this is one of the question lah. Dia akan tanya this one. Okay. Have fun but be spared. Yes. Awareness is important to guide us to be a smart user of online environment, including using social media. So before we are able to educate our loved ones, our children, our students, we must make sure that ourselves, kita sendiri pun are well aware of this thing. So stay safe. Don't give out our personal information to people we don't know. We don't meet up, and we must always advise our children, our students, our loved ones. Jangan suka-suka jumpa. Never meet someone we have only been touched online. It can be dangerous. Those can be online sexual predators. And we must not simply accepting files, pictures or text from someone we don't know. And we should always check the reliability of information. Is the person or website telling the truth? And always tell our children, loved ones, if always report to us, to adult, if they are not comfortable with something or someone. The last part, second last, is the reporting cybercrime. If anyone minta dijauhkan, if anyone or someone have fallen victim to cybercrime, you can lodge report to Cyber 999 Help Center. This one, their role is like a cyber police. Okay, there are many ways a report can be filed through online form, SMS, phone call, and even mobile app. And also, we can see the cybersecurity email there, and also the emergency helpline 24 hours. Next is the MCMC, Consumer Protection and Complaints Bureau. Okay, so this thing kita akan nampak dua tempat report kan. So macam mana kita nak tahu benda apa yang nak report kepada siapa. So okay, contohnya kalau macam security breach, okay, macam hackers ke macam tu, we can report to Cyber 999. So for contents macam explicit content, okay, we can report to either MCMC or also to Cyber 999 police also. Okay, to conclude the end words, take a moment to look into our own profile and our loved ones, children in the view of hackers, identity thieves, scams, online predators, as well as employers and prospective employers. Do you feel comfortable with the current availability of the personal information, and those who are able to view it, are we comfortable or not comfortable? So that is we should give ourselves a good thought on that, because that is what considering. So thank you very much for your time today. I hope everyone learns something from this session. So yes, thank you so much for your precious time. Over to moderator. Thank you.
All right. Okay. Thank you very much, Puan Nurul Huda. A very serious content, I might say. And then, this is very informative and eye-opening to most of us, because I believe kita semua ni, bukan semualah, ada student juga dalam ni kan, we are affected by this thing, okay, because all of us are using the social media, and I can say we do share things every day, okay, so they become a habit, okay, they become a style, a lifestyle, I believe nowadays kan Puan Nurul. So sangat-sangat berbahaya based on your point of talking tadi tu. Alright, but okay, menyebabkan ada banyak soalan, I believe Puan Nurul ready for the question. We have few questions di sini. Okay, the first one is from RD Che. Okay, Ruslan, one of our former student batch in 2014. So dia tanya, how social media nowadays giving an impact towards the government and their policy? Panas betul soalan ni. Puan Nurul, how about your opinion?
Okay. I did not mention directly about social media giving a direct impact towards the government and their policy. But actually, kita kena tengok dari segi dia bila government policy ni, rules, dia bukan suka-suka berubah tau. Dia akan ada situations. Contohnya bila naik case yang berkaitan dengan misuse of social media, bila ada kenaikan case because of this, because of oversharing, because of cyberbullying, because of cyber wars, because of flame wars. Okay, kalau macam case macam share explicit content underage, okay, yang tu baru akan ada impact, tapi bukan direct impact, because government dia akan ada dia akan ada procedure untuk penyiasatan whatsoever. So dia tidaklah directly impacting the government policy, because government policy is the more serious than that. But I have to admit, negara kita ni perlukan rules and regulation yang lebih ketat, terutamanya kepada online sexual predator. I hope that answer the question.
Saya harap RD tadi berpuas hati dengan jawapan yang Puan Nurul berikan. Okay. Again, tadi the first statement ataupun among the earliest slide, Puan Nurul did mentions about one statement, sharing is caring but oversharing is dangerous. Okay. So ini ada kaitan dengan soalan Miss Juliana. Okay. Miss Julie tanya, what is your opinion on the employer's view on the employee's work performance based on her social media? Macam mana tu?
Okay, thank you, Miss Julie, for the question. Okay, but this is only my personal point of view. Okay, so what we can see, employees, work performance, it is not directly view or evaluated from social media, tapi bila macam this staff ataupun this employers, dia banyak buat macam aktiviti luar, banyak buat kajian dekat luar ke, pergi interview ke, so this thing dia akan buat coverage and masukkan dalam social media. So basically apa yang I boleh tengok, kita akan nampak benda ni dari segi yang positif lah, because they are sharing a positive thing and they are sharing a positive side of their work environment to impart and to share with others. And so yes, maybe share yang sambil buat kerja, they are loving what they do.
Maybe saya tambah sikit kot ya. Maybe we as an employee, we can be balanced in posting wherever that the content. Betul social media tu belong to us, tetapi zaman profiling tag ada ni, saya rasa be safe is the answer lah kot. Kan? You be balanced, apa benda yang you post about your personal life, you also can post something related to your work. So saya faham ataupun kami faham benda-benda macam ni kadang-kadang kita rasa unfair ke and so on, but as Puan Nurul said tadi, be smart. Dalam apa you nak post, you be smart. I hope that will answer to your question, Miss Julie. Alright, the third question here. Okay, saya rasa ini soalan yang memang kebanyakan parents sangat-sangat nak tahu. Daripada Puan Zainon, is there any social media awareness platform for parents? Okay, for me, we need to educate ourselves as a parents, auntie, uncle, grandma, grandpa before we let our kids involved in the social media. Any best practice to be used, Puan Nurul?
Thank you, Madam Zainal for this. Okay, as of the current yang social media platform specifically for parents, I'm not sure about the existence of such social media, tapi apa yang kita ada adalah, you know, the parenting control software and all that, yang tu adalah. Tapi kalau social media khas untuk parent, mungkin kalau group, sharing group khas untuk parent, share with each other, share their input, their experience tu, yang tu mungkin ada. Tapi kalau specifically target for parents, I'm not very sure on that matter. But when it comes to educating our loved ones, benda bila nak educate ni, sebenarnya nak educate diri sendiri pun bukan benda mudah tau. Apatah lagi nak educate orang lain, anak ke, parents ke, grandpa, grandma, sekarang canggih kan, grandma pun boleh video call, whatsoever. So benda ni dia bukan mudah. Bila kita explain, macam I mention tadi, kadang bila tak tengada, tunggu tengada baru nak terhantuk. So maybe when you are explaining, we can refer to any other current situation yang bila dia buat macam ni jadi. So maybe kita boleh share to relate that to our loved ones untuk bagi tahulah, sebab personally kalau to me benda tu lah yang paling nampak, sebab benda nak educate ni bukan benda yang mudah and simple. Cakap senang, cuba buat. Macam tu lah bunyi dia.
Betul. Saya sangat setuju. Cumanya kalau macam as a parents tu dia ada, kalau Google dia ada parental link, something like that. So maybe boleh digunakan.
limiting search.
Satu lagi dalam you punya Google mungkin boleh limitkan apa yang boleh anak-anak search kan throughout the usage of that platform. Alright, it's a very tough job for us as a parents to control. I believe all of us who have children yang baru nak meningkat remaja ataupun kanak-kanak yang very excited with this social media memang sangat-sangat a tough job for us, right?
Yes,
Tapi
very
kan, but along the way kita kenalah juga make sure we play our roles and kita akan try minta, to control lah our children. Alright, Puan Nurul, we have the next question here from Puan Nurlida. The question is, how does oversharing affect mental health? Is it considered as a serious problem? Mental
okay.
health.
Thank you, Puan Nurlida. Okay, regarding this, how does oversharing affect mental health? Actually, this one dia more kepada indirectly, dia bukan directly. Okay, tadi in one of the slide ada mention that when a person lonely kan, so bila he or she roaming around dekat online social media without any clear intention, so makin banyak dia tengok, sebenarnya dia akan makin rasa macam depressed. Okay, contohnya kalau macam we are in a difficult situation. Kita dalam fasa yang paling mencabar dalam hidup kita. So maybe kita ada macam we are experiencing a downtime in our life. So when we browse through social media, kita nampak orang lain semua macam they are having a good time. They are this, they are that. It's totally opposite dengan apa yang kita hadapi. So benda tu boleh trigger macam it's the feeling of lagi down tau, lagi down, lagi stress, lagi depression macam tu. So but most of people bila dia tension dia akan pergi dekat social media, but actually it will result in more stress and lebih yes, I hope that answer the question. Memburukkan lagi situasi.
Keadaan. Betul-betul. Based on my reading pun saya lihat banyak sebenarnya social media ni lead kepada depress kan. But the good thing, this is just a sharing. That day I'm searching for one article. So that article talk about Tinspiration, Tin, inspiration, so it's a one word. So dia kata that study is about teenagers in US. They are using this tag untuk gain more people and so on. So saya search melalui IG. The good thing about IG, when we put that word, kita try to search, dia terus tanya, are you in problem with your health ke apa ke? Means dia bagi tahu the content is not suitable. If you have a problem, you should go to somewhere else. So in that way, I think some of the social media, they have precautions toward this thing. But we believe apa-apa pun memang social media ni play a big role lah. Alright. Okay, kita ada next question, Puan Nurul. Kita dah overrun sedikit. Saya harap kita masih boleh spend extra 5 to 10 minutes, Puan Nurul. Is that okay with you?
I'm okay.
Alright, okay. So the next question is from Miss Hayati. Dia kata, oversharing has become addictions among SOCMED user. Is there any method to advise people to stop oversharing their information?
Okay, thank you, Miss Nur Hayati, for the question. Okay, regarding the method to advise people, when it comes to method to advise, even the question itself, it's showing or directing into something very subjective. Sebab benda-benda yang melibatkan nasihat, melibatkan when it comes to melibatkan our awareness, our own kesedaran, tiada yang mudah. Kadang kita ni makin dilarang, makin dibuat. Yang mana tak boleh itulah yang dibuatnya, because people react based on their emotions. So apa yang kita boleh buat adalah kita help guide them by sharing awareness sessions macam ni untuk bagi orang nampak yang if kita buat ni ada consequence begini, if kita buat macam ni ada consequence macam ni. Dia kalau direct method to stop tu tak ada unless kita ada macam auto filter dekat internet yang boleh okay. Kalau content macam ni terus kalau tekan publish tu pun dia disable button tu. Kalau macam ada dia macam apa hashtag untuk overshare tu dia kalau auto ada function kalaulah ada itulah caranya. But tak ada and it's actually quite impossible to simply stop people to overshare. It's difficult. The oversharing has the oversharing practice, the oversharing awareness, it has to come from our own awareness and initiative, I believe.
Betul. It is almost impossible kan to stop other people to share because semua tu berbalik kepada diri sendiri. Okay, Encik Ahmad Kamal Effendi kata my mother's maiden name sebenarnya tidak terpakai kepada warga Muslim. So maiden name itu bermaksud surname perempuan sebelum berkahwin dan mengambil surname suami mengikut kelaziman barat.
Okay, I agree with you, Cik Ahmad Kamal Effendi. Yes, I agree with you. Yes, kita memang because kita tahu kan, tapi if kalau masa kita isi borang tu dia minta soalan macam tu, so kita kena we have to put lah sebab dia sama je kan sebenarnya, dia sama je. So nama mak kita dengan nama kita punya datuk, yang itulah yang kita letak dalam borang. Tapi isunya kalau kita pernah masukkan that information juga dekat our Facebook profile, so cyber criminals ni dia boleh cross reference those things. So itulah kita punya concern. So if masa kita isi borang sama-sama yang melibatkan macam online banking account, so kita kena pastikan we don't put the same information anywhere else on our social media. Kita kena take note lah, we have to remember as precautions kan, because kita tak boleh control apa yang bank nak tanya kita dalam borang. We have to answer apa yang ditanya.
Betul. Because sometimes for example bank tu dia for the serious matter and so on kan, cuma yelah again kembali kepada jawapan be smart to ourselves. Alright, the next question kita ada Alright, daripada Queen Busy. Busy sangat Queen ni. Okay, Queen Busy tanya bagaimana kita nak define oversharing tu sebagai over? Ada ke study untuk determine the oversharing terms?
Okay, thank you to Puan, I believe this is Puan Balkis. Okay, okay. Regarding particular study to determine oversharing, kalau yang tadi tu, okay, in my slide dia tak ada the definition that define the oversharing tak merujuk kepada mana-mana study. But basically overshare is bila kita overshare too much of our personal information, which those personal information that we share might be used against us or to our disadvantage. So considerationnya kat sana kepada dia punya consequences. Fokusnya bukan kepada to determine mana satu overshare, mana satu tak overshare, tapi fokusnya kepada lebih daripada akibat daripada maklumat yang kita accidentally terovershare ke kan. Wallahu a'lam.
Betul. Harapnya dapat menjawab pertanyaan Puan Queen Busy. Okay. So next question again daripada RD. RD tanya, what should we do to create an awareness towards society? What should thinking before sharing? That we should think before we share. Because dia kata zaman-zaman viral ni semua orang nak share, semua orang nak become the first person share the information. Walhal tak tahu pun benda tu sahih ke tak sahih. Yang penting I am the first in the social media to post it. So how?
Thank you to Puan RJ. Okay, regarding that question, yang tadi tu I think that the previous question dia tanya how to stop the overshare. So berbalik kepada yang soalan sebelum tu juga regarding the tendency to overshare this thing, there is no one stop ataupun one single method to stop overshare. Tak boleh, kita tak boleh larang orang and then just stop. No, it doesn't works like that. So apa yang kita buat is sharing like this session is one of the eye opener for people to
Betul.
look the social media sharing from other sides untuk dari banyak segi, not for the for the sake of sharing only. So yang kita boleh buat adalah kita share kita impact knowledge, tapi nak paksa orang, nak ubah orang, nak stop diorang from overshare, that is totally not within our power. Dia tak ada one single button stop terus stop, no, tak ada. So yes, I believe I hope that answered the question.
Okay, harapnya menjawab kepada soalan RD tadi. Okay, betul. Kita tak boleh nak paksa orang. Especially social media is belong to an individual kan. Alright, from Dr. Norlina. Yes, it's true because we as a penjawat awam, kita terikat dengan akta sebagai kaki tangan kerajaan. So we have to be very careful when we write comments or whatever we are doing using social media.
Thank you for that input, Dr. Norina Muhammad Nur. Yes, absolutely correct.
Betul, kena berpada-pada. Okay, last question from Queen Busy. What do you think about being a social influencer versus oversharing? Soalan panas juga ni. Sebab saya rasa social influencer ni pun ada isu-isu dia kan. Budak tak nak sekolah, nak jadi social influencer. So macam mana pandangan Puan Nurul? Macam mana kita nak didik anak-anak dari become a social influencer versus this one?
Thank you, Puan Balkis. Okay, so this one, I can only see this from my personal point of view. I believe mungkin different orang dia ada different point of view. So today sebab we call this sharing session. Okay, what do you think about being a social influencer versus oversharing? Kalau I would like to see from the the good sides of social influencer. Social influencer ni biasanya diorang yang whatever they postkan, people would read and people would comment, and they can actually influence others in one way or other way or lifestyle. So kalau dia kena tengok lah, kalau dia influence dengan yang dia share tu, kalau dari segi yang baik-baik, positif, kalau to me tak ada masalah kalau nak jadi social influencer, social media influencer, kalau benda yang baik-baik, yang tak membawa kepada kemudaratan, tak membawa kepada not degrading other people, not not harming other people, tak menyakitkan orang lain, harmless to others, benda yang baik-baik, yang positif. I think tak ada masalah pun nak jadi social influencer kalau benda yang baik-baik, tak ada masalah pun. Overshare ni macam saya cakap tadi, kita tengok dari segi benda-benda yang bila kita overshare, ada pihak yang tidak bertanggungjawab yang boleh menggunakan benda-benda yang kita share tu against us, to our disadvantage, to bring us down. Kalau I tengok dari segi macam tu. So to me, kalau social influencer, kalau dia share benda yang baik-baik, why not? Kalau benda tu boleh mendatangkan kebaikan kepada orang lain, why not? If they are standing for a good fact, for a good cause, why not? Tak ada masalah. So that is from my personal point of view. Kalau kita tengok dari, from one side, from the positive side. I think from the other side, I think other people have other considerations. So, thank you.
Okay. Alright, thank you Puan Nurul. I think we are about to end the sessions today. So before we really end it, betul lah, we are living in the online life now, like Puan Zainul kata, dan this is the style. Cumanya to make it, yang penting you have to be safe no matter whether you are online or offline. And please make sure that you are alert, okay? You know your limits, you know what are the things that you can post, or what are the things that you can share or you should not share with the public, supaya public tak do bad against you with the content. So dengan itu we would like to say thank you to everybody. Terima kasih kepada Puan Nurul Huda Izzati for your information, for your presentation. It's very informative. We love it, although we feel horrified by listening to the facts and figures, but we feel glad that we are here today and get the input from you. And to all our audience, thank you very much for your participations, for the question. Should you have any questions regarding related to this topic, you are much welcome to contact Puan Nurul Huda Izzati in UiTM Sarawak. With that, thank you and Assalamualaikum.
Thank you. Thank you everyone. Thank you moderator. Thank you host. Thank you everyone who participated into the session. I hope everyone learned something. This is a reminder for myself and also to others. Saling mengingati.
Betul-betul. Terima kasih dan Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh.